Hello Furkies, we reached 1K subscribers today. I'm really grateful and thankful for your support. It's been a long journey. And yes, I really appreciate you supporting my channel. I hope it will last a long time since I enjoy posting and creating chess content. So here we go. We have the game, we have the white pieces against a slightly lower rated opponent, but we will play pawn to e4 here. Nevertheless, it will be a competitive game and we face the Caro-Kann defense. Now I will play pawn to d4, controlling the center, and d5 is the main line, of course. And now my tricky pawn to f3. This is known as the fantasy variation due to my all the fantasies I have with playing the move pawn to f3. We face e6. Usually people take here and I just completely destroy them, but he played e6. Yeah. The lastly I played against this variation was against a cheater online. So now knight c3 is the best move. Knight f6 or bishop b4. Both moves are fine, and bishop b4 was played. Now bishop f4, just controlling the diagonal. And yes, I think knight the e7 here. I think it is the best move. I have no idea what the theory is here. Mm, I would just like to push my h pawn, I guess, down the board. I mean, also bishop d3. If here, then probably takes with the bishop is fine. Knight e2. Maybe queen d2 here. Queen d2 looks fine, and then castling, and then playing like h4, h5. And also after bishop takes, there is just queen takes here. And knight here I can play probably just castles. Or knight d2. Knight d2 and if takes, knight takes. Yes, I like that. So queen d2 now. I have no idea what the opening theory says here. I think you shouldn't just castle right away. It gives me a lot of attacking possibilities with my h pawn, with my g pawn as well. Um, and yes, I hope I win today's game because this is a special video. Um, I mean, maybe I will be lucky today. I'll try to do my best, but chess is a hard game to play. And we face queen a5, which is very weird move. I guess your idea is to double up my pawns here, but that's ridiculous. For example, 92. Also h4 doesn't. I mean h4 then there is takes. So I guess firstly 92 and then like h4. Here c5 takes, knight takes, pawn takes, knight takes, knight takes, bishop takes, queen takes. What do we think of that position? I'm up a pawn, of course I am, but I have triple pawns here. I mean, what can I say? I mean, I would like to play a3 here, but after c5 I cannot take here. Logical. Castling is okay as well. After takes, I think then I'm just losing after queen takes on a2, so that's bad. Um, if takes, then there is knight takes, probably just winning. Knight e2, c5 takes, bishop takes, and takes here should be just fine for me. But that's also losing, but something else, yeah. So just knight e2 here. If takes, I take with the knight, and if castles, I'm ready to play h4, h5, h6, and then maybe to take, maybe not to take. We'll see what will happen. I mean, I like my position so far. Nothing special just yet, but definitely I need to study this line with bishop before here a bit more. I know pretty much everything about knight f6 here, and then e5 and going into some French positions. Nothing special though. But this bishop before gives black a lot of active ideas as well. Maybe with this queen, maybe that wasn't really the precise move here. I'm not sure, maybe it was. I don't know the theory here, but c5 Knight f6 is just a bad. I mean, it's not bad, but a relatively bad French position for black. Um. So yes, I mean knight f6. I mean, I think bishop f4 is much better than anything else here. But I also play the Caro-Kann defense myself, and after f3 here, I always take and play the main line with e5. Maybe I should have played I should play e6 and then bishop before, but then there are also some gambits. I don't know them. Maybe I will change my repertoire. Um, that after bishop before I play like a3 and then double up the c pawns and then just try to attack here. Maybe that's also an okay idea. I don't want to push e5 here because there are knight g6 firstly, and secondly because of c5, and then my e5 is very weak. But my opponent is spending some time. That means that he's no longer in the theory, in the book. Oh, that's fine, of course. Now c5 I think is not that great of a move. I can simply take and then take on d5, and after pawn takes back. I cannot take with the knight back because queen takes d2, hangs a knight on d5. But still, we'll see. Maybe after c5 takes, bishop takes, and knight d4. Maybe we'll see with knight b3 ideas. I mean now takes here. I don't really believe it's very good because simply knight takes back. I have the bishop pair and an attack going on the king side. B6 here is a normal idea with bishop a6. You play knight d7, supporting c5. That's logical. That's very logical. Mm. Castling takes. I take with the bishop. Not that bad. Um, because yeah, a3 doesn't force us this. And if I can castle c5, a3 takes. No, that's bad. So castle c5 takes, knight takes, a3 here takes. This pawn is hanging. I mean, it's not, but it is kind of. Of course, there's bishop b5, bishop d6. I have a lot of potential, and if nothing, then well, I think I'm just okay in the end game. So castle c5 I can take here. Knight takes is bad for me. So not that. I think castles. My arrows are so bad. Castle c5 takes here. Um, and then a3 takes, and if pawn takes, probably knight takes, queen takes, and knight takes back. I have 3 on 2 on the queen side, and I like that position. I think so. Just castles. c5 now, of course, being the best move in the position by far. I think. You play knight b6 though. Really? Going for c4. I don't think that's so great. I mean, I don't feel like this move being so great. a3, there is knight c4. Yeah, maybe I misplaced it. Bishop c7 though. King d7 and takes. With the idea that the knight is pinned them. But still, how do you? I mean, bishop c7. What do you do? I think a3. Then there is knight c4, and then like sacrifices here, and picking up the knight. Not really, but still, we need to evaluate that here, here, here. Why allow it at the first place? Yeah, here takes, and this is made. That's not good. I cannot play a3. The other way to not to allow knight to c4 is to move the knight, and then takes and takes here. It's still not that bad of a position, I think, but no, that's not what I wanted from the opening. Definitely not. Bishop c7 or knight g3 is the question now, but I think it's very hard question to be answered now. Knight g3 going into an endgame. Probably bad endgame. But I will have c4 there. When then takes and c4 again. So therefore I will play knight g3 here. If I'm not blundering anything. Of course I am knight a4 though. Knight a4 is nasty. Really nasty. I almost blundered it. So I guess I'm left with bishop c7 here. And then takes an a3. I almost missed that knight a4 is also an idea. But now you can take, knight takes, and yeah, I'm fine. Knight c4 I take, takes, and win a piece. I'm in a very hard position to play. Knight g3, until the last checking I thought it was a fine move, but knight a4 I think it just blunders the game away because I will lose the c3. I mean, I could play knight e2 back, but what have I accomplished after c5? Maybe even, wait, maybe knight takes on b2 was also working with queen a3. Not really, not sure about that. But still, I mean, c5 now. I take it, take it. If you take with the bishop, I go here. Probably just better. Yes, of course, blundering here. Takes, takes, takes here. King b2, king b1. That endgame doesn't look that weird, but it allows, I guess, my pawn to get pushed. I mean, his pawn and e5. Then I have c3 maybe. Of course, I'm talking about c5 takes, bishop takes. Bishop, wait. Yes, bishop takes, queen takes, knight a4, and there is bishop e3 pinning me, but I win his queen. He takes me with check, I take with the rook, and then a takes on b6 to recapture the bishop. He has the open a file, but that won't happen in a million years. After c5 I might even take like this. Oh wait, I of course blunder right after c5. If I take, then ab, which might not be that bad. But not great either. I'm in very insane position, I would say. But that's like the definition of the fantasy Caro-Kann. We're at move 9 and nobody knows what is happening. Here, I guess, is a good move. If the king d7 is the best move, then takes, takes, and a3, of course, that is just checkmate here. King d7 is such a wild move. Maybe queen f4 there. Maybe. But I mean, c5 I take and maybe plant the knight on on u castle. Wow, but this looks weird. Weird, yeah. Now I'm getting a lot of activity. No, a3 you cannot really stack, yeah. Oh, but you can. Queen there. Queen c1. Check here. Now we need to calculate. If a3 bishop takes, I'm very happy. If a3 bishop takes, pawn takes, queen takes a3, king b1. I guess there is a drop at repetition, so that's not what I want. I could play h4 and h6 and h5 and h6 and so on. I could even play e5 here. But the knight is not going to c4, so that's great. h4, am I really accomplishing? Yes, I am, because I'm threatening mate here. h4, what is your move? I'm not sure, maybe h6 and then g4, g5. I think h4. You have to react to this move somehow. If not now, well, on the next move definitely. And the a3 is never, the a2 is never hanging because bishop takes, knight takes, queen takes. I mean, the knight is always defending a2, and if queen takes here, I can simply take, and I win a piece. You play c5 now, which I think is somewhat reasonable, with an idea of queen takes probably. And probably you're threatening c4, but I'm not sure that's true. Takes here, here, AB. I think I'm completely fine, but maybe I'm. No, there in that position, I think I'm losing a2. I need. I mean, is there a way to defend the mate here? That's my only question. After h5, c4, h6, g6, queen f4, is there a way to defend a mate? Yes, there is. But I don't think it really works. I mean, takes, I take with the knight, I'm happy. Here, am I happy? Not really am. But here I take with the queen. And then h6, and you probably just can resign. So h5, c4 is the only threat. h6, knight g6. I take, threatening here and mate. I think that's fine for me. h5, let's go for it. Maybe it doesn't work, but I don't care. c4 closing down the position. I mean, yes, but the position closes down for you as well, yeah? Oh, but then maybe knight c4 now works. But it might not as well after here, here, knight g6 takes. If you play h6 here, yeah, well, yeah, you do that. Here is something I also missed. And this bishop d6 idea here, there is knight c4, and of course I'm lost. Here, c4, here, king h7, takes. I should be completely winning there. So g4 takes, I take with the queen. Bishop there. I mean, f6 here doesn't look okay. I mean, bishop d6 would be a nice move, trading off the bishops here and the queens, maybe going into a pleasant endgame where I would still be attacking on the king side, not trying to mate my opponent, but it would be like a minority attack. Maybe it's also a majority attack. Not, it's probably a minority attack, but still. Very complicated game so far. g6 I take, and then take here and win the game. And g5, I think you cannot take because I'm threatening h6 and h7 and mate. Also, knight g6 doesn't help because here it might help as well. G5 takes. No, you cannot play here. I take. So after g4, g5, you have to play king h7. You take here. Really? Wait, but now this looks pretty weird to me. You're going here. Fine. I go back to the two. If you push here, I go back. Doesn't care. Doesn't care. Don't care, excuse me. The other way is if you go here. Slightly more. Slightly worse, I think. Do you really want to go into an end game? Takes queen c5 is my only doubt about this position. I mean, there is knight takes, but then bishop takes here and queen takes on a2. I have to do this here. I could potentially go here, but after f6, hard position, and also just takes maybe. If you don't play queen c4, queen c5, however, I'm just pushing g5. If it takes, I mean still h6, takes, rook takes, and win the game. Probably. Very complicated game. I mean, we'll analyze it, but I still don't think I will understand half of it by the end of the analysis, because the position is so complicated. Queen c5, I get it. Bishop c5, I don't get it. If that's the top engine move, then fine. It is. I won't argue the engine, but still doesn't look human at all. Bishop c5 allows queen d2 and g5 back. So queen c5, queen d2, queen c7 picking up the piece, g5, king h7. I don't think I have enough for a sacrificed piece. Simply don't think so. Queen c5, queen d2, queen c7, g5, king h7, takes on h6, and then what? Knight f4, bishop takes c3, pawn takes c3. Queen c4 is impossible because the bishop takes the queen. I'm definitely not sure, but I had to took the pawn with the queen. Now my queen is more centralized, but if queen c5, then probably forced to give away my queen. Not give away, but to trade it, which is still equally bad. The endgame, I think is much better for black. It's not the endgame; it's just queenless middle game. But still, I think I made a lot of weaknesses on the king side. Shouldn't be playing that badly. After queen c5, I could take on d5, however. And if queen c7, then I could play d6. Probably would be better. Being material would be the same, probably. I would have active rook on d6. No, queen c5 should be played immediately. Is there anything else? There is also knight to c6, which I um haven't seen. Yes, he goes for it, but really, I'm just going to attack your king. Still, you cannot play knight c4, so queen d2. Queen e3 is also an option. I get it, but I could play g5 here. Check, I take it. Queen e3 takes, knight takes, and then I get forced. If I go here, you I take, and then I get almost forked, but not really. You're trying to go into an end game, kind of. But this pawn is weak. Very weak. I think queen e3 is slightly better. I'm hoping for bishop takes and then trading off and then and then pawn d4. I simply play knight b5. I think, or maybe I take here and then maybe we will see what will happen. G5 is my threat, and then I will just win the game. If takes, knight takes, I get forked. I could try to sag the exchange for the attack somehow. We're both down to 4 minutes, which might be an insane time scramble. Knight c4 is still impossible for the moment, but I shouldn't blunder it. Well, now knight c4. Wait, maybe I blundered it already. Oh, but I have takes, knight takes, king takes. The material is the same, which is so amazing. Is it? I think it is. With knight c4, I could also just play like queen f4. You play. Imagine, but I don't. You think this will work? Oh, but then e4 happens. I should have played queen d2, not allowing knight c4. Now it's pretty bad. No, I win a pawn. Here. If you take, I win a pawn. If you take like this, you're attacking c2. I play rook d2. Takes, rook takes, knight takes here. And you take. And I take back, and I have 2 knights for a rook and a pawn. I think that should be fine for me. Bishop a5. I hope you take here, because then you probably will lose. But you do it the right way, of course you do. Very hard position, but it will be a blitz game from now, and I'm pretty solid in blitz. Recently, I think my... Oh, but you don't take my pawn? Fine. That's fine for me, or how they say them. You really think that this endgame is better for you? You cannot develop the bishop if you take? And I'm attacking the pawn, so what do? Takes, knight takes, you cannot develop the bishop. You have to play like b6 and then here and here. Then like here. And you still cannot really develop the bishop. Good. Maybe takes. I don't think that this position is worse for me. It cannot be possible. Rook. Oh, rook d8. Rook d8, rook d1. No, rook d8, e3. 96, and I win a pawn. With very limited counterplay for my opponent, I think. Also, I have 3 minutes and a half. And what is his blitz rating? Excuse me, I will just check it. And I will see it just in a second. He doesn't play blitz at all. Wow. Okay, I don't care. Um, you take. Oh, you're giving yourself the d5 square. But now, on the other hand, I mean, this c4 and b3, and I think I'm perfectly fine here. Here, c4. Knight goes to e3. Forking. Here I can play c4 due to this fork. I mean, but I could like firstly play here and then c4. Still think taking with the knight is better. It. I mean, I have the 3-on-2 on the queen side, so oh shit. Why did I do that? I just blundered the pawn on a2. What the? I have a lot of compensation for it. But still, I shouldn't have done it. Insane. Why? Why didn't I take with the f-pawn? I mean, I had 3 minutes left, and this blunder is just unexplainable. I'm sorry to do this. No, but this is just completely completely bad position. Yes, of course you do that. No, I have to go for the open d file here, and maybe for my knights, like maybe playing g5 and g6, and then he's kind of weakened on the back rank as well. b6 with an idea to go here, I get it. Now it's a blitz game, so I don't really care. But you're just fine. We'll just be down a pawn. I get the rook to the 7th rank. It doesn't help me though, because here is also attacked. Shouldn't really allow this to happen. How did I don't do that. Here. Trying to make something work, but it doesn't. Maybe I could allow here and then go here, but my pawn is hanging. Also play quick. What is your problem? Knight f4 and then c3. Rook d8, knight f4 and then c3 is my idea. Bishop a6 here is logical. I go knight f4 anyway. Don't care really. I'm down a pawn, but I will try to like. We're only at move 22, so the game will be extremely long, I think, today. I'm playing for a win in this position so that we understand each other. Knight here, I think I have just. c4 here. Is your knight getting trapped? It is. The knight is getting trapped. And my next move is here. Knight g2. Here. Knight here. Your knight is trapped. Your knight is trapped after c4 here. Rook c1. I think that's... If I'm not blundering something again. Like f4, f5, excuse me. Here and f... This side the rook. If you have to go... I mean, you could go back to b4. Which I of course missed again. But you're down to 1 minute. You might as well... Wait, what is this? This just loses. What is this move? Wait, what? Knight takes c8 is just... I'll be slightly more quiet now. That the game is so... I mean, I'm just completely winning. What? You resign here. Ah, you shouldn't resign in this kind of positions. You should play on. But still, great game. Let's game review the game now. I think I wasn't really lost. I think it was only like -1 there. He wants me to do a rematch some other day, man. Thanks. I wasn't lost. Never. So I played with 87% accuracy. My opponent played with 81. Let's see what happened. I played pawn to e4. Pawn c6 was played. The Caro-Kann defense. Now d4 and d5. And here there are many options. You can play knight c3. You can push. You can take. What is else there? You could even probably play like bishop d3 and you would be fine. But I chose to play pawn to f3 here. And after f3, the best way to play is the takes e5, threatening to go here and fork my king, and of course the e4 pawn. But after e6, let's just see what happened in the game. I played knight c3, down move, defending the pawn. Now bishop b4 was played, which is the main line, of course, in this kind of positions. Now bishop d2 is a move that computer really likes, but I played bishop f4, which is still the main line, I think. After bishop f4, knight e7 was played. I played queen d2 here, which was not the best, but okay, relatively okay. Queen a5, knight g2, knight d7, and long castles. I shouldn't castle long here, but my idea, what a3 is the best. Oh my god, what does it do? a3, knight g6. What's the idea? Bishop g3. What's the idea of a3? It has zero idea. I'm not threatening here because my rook is hanging, so that I move. I don't understand. I simply castled. Knight b6, bishop c7 was played, which was the best move indeed. Now castles is a blunder due to a3. Now you might say in the comments that I missed pawn to a3 completely winning. I didn't miss it. I just didn't like it. That's two different things. I saw pawn to a3 here. But after takes, king b1, I thought that there is here. Queen c... not, excuse me. Queen c1. Maybe like here. King a1. If you go back, I play knight a2, I guess. But wait, I thought that after here that this is a draw by perpetual check. King a1 here. Oh, but I guess it's the same idea. But this looks very scary with this knight coming here. Knight a4, let's say. Now I can play even rook b1. I mean, it's not that simple. I played h4, c5, h5, h6, and now g4. Takes, and I took... Wait, taking with the knight is best. Wait, but after takes here, what about here? bishop d6, rook d8. What's rook e8? What's the idea? G5 takes. What's the idea? Knight b5 apparently. Well, that looks like very good move. I missed that as well. After queen takes now, it's apparently equal. Knight c6 was played. Queen e3, of course. Why did I do that? Wait, what? Queen e3 is giant blunder. What? Queen e2 is so much more logical. I don't I don't care about the evaluation. Maybe queen e3. I played queen e3 along bishop g5. Why would I do that? And like knight b4. He he played here, which was fine for me. Rook d2, and now my opponent shouldn't take on f1. That was weird. And now I of course blundered. I played knight takes, which is the best move. Don't you even say that this is the best move. No, I don't believe you. This was the best way my opponent could play. Now c4, and I calculated after c4, I calculated knight e3 doesn't work. But apparently it does. I could play rook c1 defending the pawn. Oh, the pawn was also defended. Doesn't matter. Rook d8 here. Oh, the idea is rook d8 that I'm not attacking the knight actually. Yeah. Well, oh, I have rook c3 here. Knight d5 only move that proves an advantage. Of course, the idea is clear, but he simply played rook d8 and resigned after takes. I mean, my opponent played a really good game. We both missed few moves, and this just blunder in time scramble. If I have one advice for my opponent is that he should play some blitz or some bullet. Um, it's not the best for your chess skill, but under tremendous time pressure, um, you will have more skills how to make quick decisions. So I think that's the advice, one piece of advice I would give to my opponent. And yes, if you have anything to tell me, please let me know in the comments below. By the way, I'm so happy that I and my channel and we got to 1k subscribers. It was just an amazing journey. I hope it will last a tremendous long time. I'm just enjoying publishing and uploading daily content. So yes, thank you for support, everybody. Um, and yes, as always, if you like the video, please consider subscribing. It would really help me out. And see you guys tomorrow. Bye bye.